Hello, welcome to my Let's Draw Anime videos. In this video, we'll try to draw All Might, from the anime series, My Hero Academia. I have watched this anime, and it's very good. I have drawn some manga for fun, not as a professional artist, since almost all my jobs are Western-style animation. But maybe my basic skills will help me do the job. We'll use a 300 dpi Photoshop document, an animator pencil from Kyle, a lazy NEZUMI plugin, but you can work with a normal brush and without a lazy NEZUMI, it's not a requirement. Here, I am using a pre-drawn pose from a reference. This is one of the process I do in character layout. This pose drawing is like something you get from storyboards. As a layout artist, I must make the assigned character do the pose. One trick I do is chop the head and try to integrate it to the pose drawing. Next, I measure the body width using the head. This way, you'll have at least an idea how wide the body is. Then, you work over the pose drawing, trying to bulk it up, like the model. As you work over the model, you also must adapt to the pose. If the pose drawing is better than the model drawing, it might end up being fixed up by the checker, and if a checker always fix up your layout, you'll get less work. Nowadays, most layouts doesn't require us to do much character drawings anymore. What matters most now is the background layout, which I think is very fair. An animator once said to me, they are not using most of the character poses, what's important to them is the size comparison. And that is what's happening these days. The characters need not to be pose, they just need to be in the right size against the background elements, and prop elements. But in some shows, you still need to, like my latest work for Looney Tunes, but I am only required to do 2 poses, very fair. Unlike before, you have to do all the poses. Sometimes, I end up doing a single scene in a day, for the same price, which I think is very unfair, for a layout artist. Well, at least those days are gone, and I hope they never come back. Here, I am trying to get the drawing to be on model as much as possible. It's but natural to be unfamiliar on how to model the drawing, if it's the first time you encountered it. Sometimes I think, that is why the first episode of a show, sometimes is the last show being done in a studio, because by then all the artists have already adjusted to the style of the animation. And, as they say, first impression counts. If the first episode of a show is good, it attracts more audience. At this stage, the character is having a more Hulk-like look. The key to not get frustrated is to keep on working on other parts of the drawing. Sometimes, I really don't know if the anatomy is right. I just follow my instincts. Somehow it tells me if a body part does not look right. Who is your favorite anime character? Comment down below, it might give me an idea what to do next. Here, I'm trying to figure out how the shoulder connects to the neck muscle. Time to look at a reference, because you do not know what you do not know. References always helps if you know what you are looking for. And also, shout out to Mr. Aries Tolentino on giving me references and pointers on how to model this All Might drawing. Thank you very much. A little trivia on All Might, from Wiki. Toshinori Yagi, more commonly known by his hero name, All Might, is the tritagonist of My Hero Academia. All Might is the former #1 pro hero who bore the title of the world's symbol of peace. He teaches foundational hero studies at UA High School. All Might was the 8th holder of the One for All quirk. Quirk is some form of superhuman ability. The advent of these abilities has given rise to not only professional heroes, but also the threat of villains. In his empowered form, Toshinori is a very large man with an equally muscular and well-defined physique, his design resembling a typical Western comic book superhero. He has short blonde hair, swept backwards, with 2 distinct tufts that stick up above his head, leaning slightly to each side, which often casts a dark shadow over his face, hiding everything but his bright blue eyes. In his true form, after sustaining permanent damage from All for One, Toshinori's declining health reduced him to a very skinny man with sharp, angular features and long limbs, his neck long and his eyebrows absent. He possesses a large scar that covers most of the left side of his chest. And it is not uncommon for him to spout blood from his mouth when excited or surprised. He typically wears baggy clothing, to accommodate the change in body mass between forms, but after the end of Toshinori's tenure as a hero, he starts wearing clothes that fit him in his true form, as he no longer needs big clothes that fit his muscle form. In his early career, Toshinori was a lean, but fit young man. In his empowered form, his facial features were noticeably softer. In both his normal and empowered form, he did not have shadowed eyes on his face, completely showing his white sclerae while retaining the deep blue irises of his eyes, possibly showing how he was not a shell of his former self. No matter who or what he faced, All Might would stand up triumphantly every time one battle after another, inspiring the world, and sending fear to the hearts of villains everywhere. He considered it necessary to lie to the public about his weakened state, for the sake of keeping up morale. When inking, set the lazy NEZUMI to smoothing massive, and the animator pencils flow to 100%. Link for the lazy NEZUMI 15-day trial is in the description. You know what, I'm happy there's Photoshop nowadays. Then when I was in comics, I always mess up the inking process, not very adept in using the brush for inking. I use marker pens, and it does not look as good as when you are using a brush. Back to All Might. Unfortunately for All Might, injuries inflicted on his body were starting to take a toll on him. Despite the concern and warnings from some of his close associates, All Might's determination to preserve society from evil prevented him from relinquishing his role as the symbol of peace. His smile, once a gesture that served to calm others, started becoming more of a way for All Might to hide his fears and insecurities from the general population. All Might's abilities are immense strength. All Might's most distinguishable trait was his boundless levels of super strength. A single punch from All Might could not only defeat a villain but completely change the weather subsequently. It also has the power to completely destroy several city blocks from the wind pressure it creates. All Might's pure overwhelming strength is comparable to that of a nuclear device. Immense speed, in conjunction with his immense level of physical strength, All Might possesses an equally impressive amount of speed. We'll do the coloring in Illustrator, save file as PNG or JPEG, and import or paste it to Illustrator. To fully understand my simple processes in Illustrator, I invite you to watch these videos. Sounds like a sales pitch, but I kid you not, simple but effective processes right at your fingertips. But wait, there's more. Together with the videos are linked to files you can work on. This is the retouching process. We use the blob brush and eraser for this. This is the coloring process. These are covered in the videos I mentioned. Watch those, so that you don't miss the joy of coloring in Illustrator. And always save file. The main tool here is the knife tool, not a popular tool. It's nestled with the eraser tool. You have to long-click the eraser icon for it to appear. Here, it seems I miss a detail on the costume, but no worries, we'll just add it here in Illustrator. We'll do the shadows. After the base color, we just need a light source. By using the knife tool, we slice areas for doing shadows. All these are explained in the basic Illustrator videos. For now, enjoy the background music, as I slice up the image for coloring. this, there is a flat black shadow on the model. I'm not confident that I can pull that color style. Instead, I just made a darker color from the existing shadow color. We'll finish the video here, and show this, maybe needs a few more twerks, but this will definitely do. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you very much for watching.